Ever wondered what happens when two of the world's most chaotic frenemies face off against polar bears and treacherous glaciers? Tom and Jerry are trading their usual backyard brawls for an epic sub-zero showdown in the Arctic. Get ready for a hilariously frosty adventure where every slip, slide, and chase is amplified by the icy wilderness. A simple chase for a warm blanket leads to the adventure of a lifetime in a land where the greatest threat isn't each other, but the cold itself. Frosty Frenzy begins. It all started on a snowy day at home. Tom was cozily napping by the fireplace, wrapped in a thick, woolly blanket. Jerry, feeling the chill from his mouse hole, decided he needed that blanket more. With a mischievous grin, he tiptoed over and tugged at a corner. The tug-of-war that followed was epic. They pulled and pulled until they tumbled right out the back door and onto a waiting sled at the top of a giant hill. The sled, jolted by their weight, took off like a rocket, zipping down the slope, through the town, and straight onto a departing cargo ship headed for the Arctic. When they finally peeked out from under the blanket, their jaws dropped. Home was gone. They were surrounded by a vast, blindingly white landscape of ice and snow. Towering glaciers loomed like frozen skyscrapers, and the air was so cold Tom's whiskers instantly frosted over. Meow. Tom chattered, his teeth clacking like castanets. Jerry, shivering uncontrollably, tried to strike a match to build a tiny fire, but the wind instantly blew it out, leaving him holding a smoking, useless stick. They were utterly unprepared for their new, frosty prison. A chilly alliance and a polar problem. Their first major challenge arrived with a low growl. A massive, very hungry polar bear had caught their scent. The bear saw Tom, a plump, shivering house cat, as the perfect snack. Forgetting their feud, Tom and Jerry scrambled onto a small iceberg. The bear lunged, its powerful paws cracking the ice. In a moment of desperate teamwork, Tom used his claws to carve a makeshift fishing rod from a piece of driftwood, while Jerry offered a piece of cheese as bait. They dangled it over the edge. The polar bear, distracted by the easy meal, snapped at the cheese, lost its balance, and slid comically across a patch of ice into a deep snowdrift. They had survived their first Arctic predator. A silent, respectful nod passed between them. They had a truce for now. The Great Glacier Chase. Their goal was simple: find shelter and warmth. They spotted a cozy-looking research outpost on the other side of a wide crevasse, spanned by a narrow, slippery ice bridge. Of course, the moment they set foot on the bridge, their old instincts kicked in. Tom, seeing Jerry ahead, couldn't resist a pounce. But on the slick ice, his pounce turned into an uncontrolled slide. He crashed into Jerry, and the two of them went spinning across the bridge like a chaotic top. Their spinning caused a chain reaction. They dislodged a large, precariously balanced icicle, which fell and shattered the end of the bridge. Now they were sliding downhill on a breaking sheet of ice, with the deep, dark crevasse yawning behind them. The ice sheet they were on tilted, becoming a perfect sled. They shot down the glacier, weaving between ice pillars, with Jerry steering by pulling on Tom's ears and Tom using his tail as a rudder. It was the wildest, most terrifying ride of their lives.